Hi, it's James Malfitas from Regular Clients here again, and I want you to know I help accountants, financial advisors, and other professionals to get 3 to 5 new leads every week using LinkedIn, and then I go ahead and I help you to turn those leads into paying clients. And today I want to show you the secret weapon that I use to get 3 times more conversions from LinkedIn than most people get by using the traditional LinkedIn methodology. So using the LinkedIn messaging system is actually a sure way to both firstly connect with your connections and of course a way to nurture that relationship that often ends up, if you do it correctly, into turning those connections into paying clients. Now, the beauty of using LinkedIn is that your messages will get delivered 100% of the time because of course LinkedIn controls the entire LinkedIn universe. However, when you get a new connection or a connection response to any of your messages, the key thing is to follow up as soon as possible. You see, if you leave it for longer than 48 hours, your lead is essentially going to go cold. And that's a travesty because you work so hard to get them. About 50% of the leads generally across all industries are going to give their business to the very, very first person that responds to their request. And just as a tidbit, not that we can always do this, but if you could, it would be great. People who actually respond within 5 minutes are 10 times more likely to get the business than those that take longer. So, as you can see, speed is of the absolute essence. And the vast majority of leads on LinkedIn don't actually check their LinkedIn profiles every day. In fact, they only log in maybe once every 7 to 31 days. So this is going to be quite late for most of us in many, many cases if we're trying to make sure that we respond within 48 hours. So a very, very good solution is to double up on your messaging via, you guessed it, email. And we do this because business owners generally check their email daily, and many of them check their email multiple times a day because, of course, we can now get it on our mobile phones. So email is just a click away in your pocket. Now, one of the advantages of first level connections is that LinkedIn is actually going to give you their email address. Okay, so this is really, really cool. And I find that by adding email into the mix increases my conversions by a factor of 3. And guys, that is absolutely massive. So here's how I would actually go ahead and use email. Once somebody actually connects with me, I'm going to send them a thank you message, both on LinkedIn and via email. Okay, so not just the one. So what I'm going to do on LinkedIn is I'm going to let them know that I'm aware that many people don't log into LinkedIn regularly. So I tell them that I'm also sending them an email. And then, of course, I'm going to send them the email. And then in the email, what I'll do, the first thing I do is I thank them for connecting on LinkedIn. And then I tell them that the reason that I've sent them the email, again, is because I know that people don't regularly log into LinkedIn. Now, this is very, very important that we do this because they're not going to be expecting this email. And I don't want them to think that I'm a spammer because I'm not. I've just connected with them or they've just connected with me. So what are they going to do now? They're naturally going to go back to LinkedIn to check whether I was telling them the truth. And sure enough, they're going to see that I did connect with them. And of course, that is going to be the basis of a very, very good relationship. And now we can start talking to people both on LinkedIn and on email. So having these 2 channels of communication, in other words, LinkedIn messaging and email, triples the results because of 2 things. Firstly, the speed at which we're able to respond. And of course, now the fact that we're using the second channel gives us a lot more opportunity to actually get exposure to our prospects. So you may or may not know, but it often takes about 7 to 12 touches to turn prospects into clients. And then, of course, using email and LinkedIn messaging counts towards it. So every time you send a LinkedIn message, that counts as one of the 7 to 12 touches. When you send out an email, that also counts as another touch towards the 7 to 12 touches. So knock your prospect socks off by responding as quickly as possible. Go ahead, make sure that you respond swiftly by responding both using LinkedIn and email at the same time. I promise you your conversion rate will climb heavily as a result. So here's your action item for today. I want you to go through all your first level connections. In other words, the people that you've already connected with. Go ahead, grab their email addresses and go ahead and reach out to them. And then from this day onwards, of course, you want to make sure that you're going to reach out to all of your new connections via both email and LinkedIn as soon as they become first level connections. Also, please feel free to book a free LinkedIn client acquisition strategy session with me where we'll brainstorm how you can get 3 to 5 new leads every single week using LinkedIn. Amongst other things, we can obviously talk a little bit more in depth about how to write these messages, both the messages that we put on LinkedIn and, of course, our email messaging. And the whole idea here is to help you to convert your new connections into paying clients. Just click on the big orange button at the bottom of this page to instantly book a spot on my calendar. That's going to work for you. Just remember, I only do 10 of these strategy calls a month. This is really just my way of giving back. And because it takes so much time, I really can't do any more. So make sure that you don't lose out and you book your spot today. So hopefully I'm going to see you on the strategy call real soon. Until I do that, this is James, the marketing accountant, Malfitas from Regular Clients, saying see you soon. Click the big orange button and I'll chat to you hopefully fairly shortly.